Bought two LA46s that inside the liners had suffered the dreaded nickel plating peel, and this will get the Brian Gardner 46 piston liner and the head that goes with it, along with the Enya needle valve, an aluminium backplate, O-ring sealed, that I have made. And I'll also make a venturi, so let's put them together. Okay, time to assemble. I've got assembler oil. This is called Power synthetic oil. You can use all kinds of oils, like you can use castor, but you run the risk of gluing things together if it's not used fairly swiftly. You can use automatic trans fluid, air tool oil, a whole bunch of stuff. This stuff is nice and thin. It doesn't burn, it doesn't age out, go sticky or hard. Anyway, first things first. Crankshaft. Some on the pin, some inside the cylinder bore. Just the pinholes. There's no front marking on these at this stage. Some pistons will have a marking, a dot or an F or something like that to indicate the front of the piston. 4-stroke certainly would. These, you'd want to know which is the front if you're taking apart a used engine, but on a new engine it doesn't usually matter. It would matter on a rear exhaust engine. But not this one. Okay, put it in without touching the sides. There you go. And now the liner. Just need a little bit on the outside. Definitely need some on the inside. There's a tiny notch there which goes to a pin at the back. The liners are extremely fragile and thin, so you try not to squeeze them with your fingers. Get them to slide in more or less of their own accord. And once it's in there a little bit, you've got to try and get the piston to slide into the bore with minimal protest. There you go, straight onto the pin. Perfect. And detached from the nip at the top. That's good. It's all going perfectly. So now, O-ring back plate. So normally these would have a paper gasket, which are horrible. So more modern engines use an O-ring, and there is just enough space. There's about 2 millimeters there to seat an O-ring, which is about the least you can get away with. So I've made these back plates to suit. You can buy them. Cam Technic, Stan Frady, or a few others I think. But they're a big improvement on the classic ones, which are prone to breaking and leaking. Now, a lot of people would put Allen key screws in here. I would normally too, but I've got this JIS screwdriver which makes life a lot easier. So I'm going to give it a go with the original screws. They're in good condition and everything works so much better when you've got the right screwdriver. There we go. Oops. Anyway, feels pretty good. Good secondary compression. So the head. So normally they come with one gasket. Head shim. Typically you'd add another one for controller aerobatics to reduce the compression ratio and soften the performance of the engine. Looks like that's it, so we've got two here, we'll use both of them. Perfect. There we go. Just like brand new. So obviously missing glow plug venturi. I haven't made the venturi yet. So we'll do that soon. Until then, we'll put the other one together. Crankshaft. Okay, so here is the Brian Gardner piston aligner set. It comes pre-assembled with a conrod, which is undoubtedly a better quality conrod than the original. Let's see, it's kind of a bit more finely crafted. So here's the old piston. You can see that this is a machine piston. A little bit more complex operations than the OS one. There's the cast piston. So it's fine for shape and everything, but the material quality is not the same as this stuff, which is probably sintered aluminium super alloy, whereas this is somewhat more mundane casting alloy. Another key difference, the piston pin is retained with circlips rather than having Teflon pads on the end like that one would, which is quite a lot superior. Now this does have a blind end on the gudgeon pinhole, piston pinhole, On this engine that probably doesn't matter, but the clue is going to be our conrod orientation. So there's a bevel on this side, no bevel on this side, that means that's the front. So blind hole to the back. There's the liner, nice clean brass, real chrome inside, very, very nice finish on it. One thing that may be different, there's a few differences. The flange is a lot thicker, so that means it's a lot stronger and probably does a bit better job of heat transfer. The timing is slightly different. The exhaust port is noticeably smaller. Transfer ports are similar in size, but you can clearly see they're in a different place, so a lot less blowdown. And they are also directional by the look of it, so they point towards the opposite side of the exhaust port, which is classic Schnell porting, whereas the OS ones just go straight in. Well, they don't go straight in, they go a lot less directional, which means that the Gardner liner should be in a more efficient runner, as well as having a operating window that's much more suitable for control line aerobatics. A little bit of oil. Beveled side. To the crankshaft. There we go. Slightly easier fit than the other one. It goes straight in without even thinking about it. Perfect. And the other obvious difference is that it nips up a lot earlier, so it's going to be tighter at top dead center, which should be good for power and also very good for starting. So that's easy peasy. Avoid on the O-ring. Make sure it's the right way up. So this one I will use Allen key screws because the other screws weren't quite as nice. Now that's a problem. The piston comes down further, so it will need a little bit more clearance on here. That's fine. So after a busy hour on the lathe, I have two venturis to suit these two LA46s. They are about 6.5 millimeters, which is the 25 FP, 25 LA diameter, and it is that's one that's quite commonly used for LA46s in aerobatics. So I'll start with those. If they need more power, then I can bore them out a little bit to 7 millimeters. or somewhere in between. So they're just a little bit fancier than a normal OS one, but the length helps them to have a little bit better suction, keep all the fuel inside, not spit so much fuel out the front. So 1x10 O-ring on each one, plugs in pretty snugly. And a new LA40 needle valve. Now these ones are 3.5mm diameter, the same as OS. So designed specifically to fit on an LA46 or an LA40 or an FP40, because the OS ones are no longer available. And as a bit of a bonus, these are a much higher quality and a better design than the OS ones. So they should work better. So there's a tiny little hole there, and Enya helpfully put a tiny dot opposite that hole so you can see from the outside that it is correctly aligned. So put it with the hole pointing up towards the top of the venturi boss, and it'll be right. I might just rotate it a bit just to visually confirm that it is near enough to centre. It's a little bit off centre, but as close as it needs to be. That was better. Here we go. Movable. Not too much. Good stuff. Ready to run.